Yeah, FBG Duck was 26 years old and left behind 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably the most known Chicago rapper to be murdered. Other rappers have gotten murdered out of Chicago, but they were more local. You know, they had local songs that were really popular, but not someone that was getting 30, 40 million, 50 million views and people, you know, and was signed to labels and so forth. And I feel like, you know, and once he died, all his enemies started making fun of his death. Oh, we're smoking a duck pack and that type of shit. And, like this mother is crying her eyes out in this interview, just thinking about the situation, and he was gonna move, and he just didn't have enough money to move all the rest of us out, and we were gonna do this, and we talked about the interview, because right when he died, everyone's like, yo, you tried to convince him to move in that first interview. Like, everyone's tagging me in this interview. And he just simply would not do it. And he was not in an enemy hood. He was on Fifth Avenue, essentially. But he was still in Chicago. If he was in the actual Fifth Avenue or Rodeo Drive, nothing would have happened. He's not around all the people he's dissing and going back and forth. And she even broke it down to me. She was like, once they tore down those high-rise projects in Chicago, everyone sort of moved out across the city, and people just chose their gangs. Some people became black disciples. Some people became gangster disciples. And a lot of times, their mothers were friends before all this happened. Some of them are even related.
This music, as his mother, I didn't agree with it. Okay, I'm gonna support him in everything he do, but I also told him how I felt about it. And the majority of them kids that he's dissing, mothers are friends of mine. We grew up in the projects together. So when the buildings got torn out, everybody picked their side. They went, so that's how that came about. Some of them are even related to each other.
Wow.
And that's the sad part about it. But to keep, because he was good at what he did, to keep talking about his dead brother, mixing in his deceased. I mean, these kids got a crazy way of making each other mad, if you ask me. It's crazy. Because to me, the dead is fine. While they out here dissing each other, all of them went to heaven. God forgave every last one of them for their sins. So now, the believer that I am, they are looking down on us, trying to get some type of voice, some type of purpose to stop all this.
She's breaking all this down. Like, it just became, people had to choose sides, but it wasn't based on, a lot of times, actual animosity. It was like, well, I'm over here now, and I'm surrounded by these guys, so I guess I'm this now. And I guess my cousin's the enemy now. And that's just how it plays out. And then social media amplifies it, and then you get this type of situation.
Yeah, no matter what time in history, children will latch on to the voice of rebellion. If it was in the 50s, your hair slicked back, 60s, 70s, you have an afro, leather jackets, whatever it was. Because unfortunately, the voice of rebellion is killing each other. That is a tool that has been taught. I just wish people could just stop and just start just following just the lineage of what's happened. And just like all these powerful thinkers and these poets, these rappers, just like, all right, you just follow the lineage of it. Where'd the violence come from? Introduce the violence to your children, right? How did you get introduced to that violence? Where'd the mother get the idea and the father get the idea of taking a leather belt and whipping their child?
Yeah.
How many lashes you're gonna get whipped with? Where'd that come from? Okay, so you've been taught to use violence as a tool, Where'd that come from? Africa? Fuck no. You would know if they counted lashes in old Africa, and if that was part of any tribe in Africa or any other country. No, you were introduced this violence as a way of coping. If people would educate themselves, it's like, okay, well, I'm keeping alive this thing that was brought to my people. And this whole, anything that has got anything to do with loving each other is a threat. We're looking at Black Lives Matter. Matter as a threat? As a threat? Why would that first even occur to you? If it said Chinese lives matter, would you care? Why is it such a line drawn in the sand to say matter? You know what I mean? Just look at that. I would hope that that will start to inspire these amazingly talented people who are putting their talent to, music, that if they just kind of start learning where the basics, basis of this was, and whose idea are you keeping alive by murdering each other? Who does that benefit? If you realize how manipulated you are about that, and who's back there laughing at your ass, you realize you're getting mad at the wrong people. I just hope that, I don't know, maybe that could just plant a seed to somebody.
Yeah, because George Floyd happened right after our last interview. Like literally 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Which caused the biggest protest in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm kind of an optimist. To this day, I thought I knew human nature and I didn't. I know the negative that goes along with that story, but my God, I never thought I would live to see people in other countries that have no black people risking their health in parades with Black Lives Matter signs.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the civil rights.
Yeah, no, the biggest protest in world history because it happened in almost every country.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, dope.
That makes me go, there is hope.
Yeah.
If you take that momentum and keep moving it in a positive way. Yeah, people are going to try to make you out to be, a militia group and all that just because you want to matter, just because you want equality.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm hopeful that people. Sometimes it's all about just being realistic. The realistic part of that is that, my God, this was amazing outpouring of humanity. Still is. I just hope we take this and keep going that direction.